October 2nd, 1869 in Porbandar, Gandhi belonged to a middle-class family of Vaishya caste. During his work course as a lawyer in South Africa, he discovered that Africans and Indians were discriminated and were the oppressed section of the society. Therefore, Gandhi's journey as a Babu started in South Africa, which soon led him to seek freedom for all the Indians back home as well. Hello all, I am your host Jayashree Gunge, give you a warm welcome to MIT News. In this segment of Dwelling into the Past, our reporters are going to shed some light on some of the most memorable stories of Gandhi in South Africa and how it shaped his ideologies.
I am Gayatri and I'm going to be talking about the involvement of Mahatma Gandhiji in the non-violence movement in South Africa. Gandhiji had such a great impact in South Africa that even today he is a sought-after leader there. From 1893 to 1914, Gandhi worked as an attorney and a public worker. In a meeting in New Delhi, Gandhi said that he was born in India but he was made in South Africa. I'm going to be describing some events that actually led to Mahatma Gandhi's Satyagraha movement in India that actually took place in South Africa. While Gandhiji was traveling in a train in Pretoria, despite of carrying a first class ticket, he was thrown out of the train by an authority because a man complained of an Indian sharing the space with him. As a response, Gandhi formed the Natal Indian Congress in 1894. This organization led non-violent protest against the oppressive treatment of white people towards the native Africans and Indians. During the outbreak of Boer War in 1899, Gandhi gathered around 1,100 Indians and organized the Indian Ambulance Corps for the British, but the ethnic discrimination and torture continued on Indians. English artist John Ruskin's book Unto the Last inspired Gandhi and he set up a phoenix farm near Durban. Here, Gandhi would actually train his cadres on non-violent satyagraha or peaceful restraint. Phoenix Farm is considered to be the birthplace of Satyagraha. However, it was at Tolstoy Farm that Gandhi's non-violent Satyagraha was molded into a weapon of protest. In September 1906, Gandhiji organized the first Satyagraha to campaign the protest against the Transvaal Asiatic Ordinance that was constituent against the local Indians. Again, in June 1907, he held a Satyagraha against the Black Act. In 1906, he was sent to jail for organizing the non-violent movement. But after his meeting with General Smuts, a British Commonwealth statesman, he was released. However, he was later attacked for this, and was again sent to jail, against which he organized the Satyagraha once again. In 1906, he was sentenced to a 3-month jail in Woldcrust and Pretoria. After his release, Gandhi went to England to seek the assistance of Indian community there. He also fought against the nullification of non-violence of non-Christian marriages in 1913. Gandhi organized another peaceful resistance campaign in Transvaal against the oppression that Indian miners were suffering from. He led around 2,000 Indians across the Transvaal borders. These were some of the moments from when Gandhiji was there in South Africa, and this is how they shaped the Satyagraha movement for Gandhiji.
While living in South Africa, Gandhiji faced a series of social and racial discrimination. In 1893, Gandhiji was thrown out of the train by the authorities because of a white man complained of an Indian sharing the space with him despite carrying a first-class ticket. In 1894, the Natal Bar Association tried to reject Gandhiji on the basis of race. In 1897, upon returning from India, Gandhiji, his family and 600 others Indian had forcibly quarantined at Durban, allegedly due to medical fears that they carried plagians. Also, local newspaper had reported it as an Asiatic invention. After this, Gandhiji launched the Natal Indian Congress and drew international attention to the plight of Indians in South Africa. In 1906, the Transvaal government further restricted the Indians' right, and Gandhiji organized his first movement called Satyagraha.
After returning from Salt Satyagraha, Gandhi decided not to return to Sabarmati till India get independence. After that, Gandhi was imprisoned for more than 2 years. After releasing from jail, he spent some time traveling. He wanted to make a village as his headquarters in central India and to serve villagers. Gandhi was invited by the industrialist Jamnalal Bajaj to Wardha in 1934. In 1934, he established his residence in Shegaon, which he renamed Sevagram, means the village of service. Sevagram is a village that is 8 km away from Wardha in Maharashtra. The first residence of Gandhi was founded on 30th April 1936. Now this residence is called Adi Niwas. Gandhi wished that artisans and material use should be local and expenses should not exceed 100 rupees. The first meeting for the Quit India movement was held in this cottage in 1942. Below the open sky, on the sand bed, morning and evening prayers of various religions were held, and that has continued even today. People living there are following Gandhi's routine and way of simple living today. When Gandhi come to Sevagram, Adi Niwas was the only cottage. In that cottage, Ba had to live among many men. So a new cottage was built for Ba, and all the ladies who come to visit Gandhi used to live in this cottage with Ba. Bapu and Ba left for Mumbai on 2nd August 1942. There she joined the Quit India movement and was arrested on 8th August 1942 and was imprisoned with Bapu in Aga Khan Palace at Pune. Thereafter her long illness, she breathed her last breath on 22nd February 1944. Meera Behan, Miss Slade, also built a cottage for herself and taught spinning and carding to the villagers. Later, Mahatma Gandhi come to live in this cottage as the Adi Niwas, Gandhi's first house, was overcrowded. Bapu met guests and visitors from India and the world in this cottage. This cottage has also witnessed the beginnings of many great historical events in India. All the cottages have been preserved exactly as it was in Gandhi's lifetime. Also, the belongings of Bapu was kept in the same condition. The messages and thoughts of Gandhi were also hanged on the walls of the huts. Shri Jamnalal Bajaj cottage was the last residence of Gandhi. In 1946, Gandhi had a severe attack of cough and come to live in this cottage under a doctor's advice to cure his cough. On August 25, 1946, Bapu left for Delhi from this cottage and then went to Noel Khedi. From there, he did not return to Sevagram. While engaged in his task of peacemaking, he was martyred in Delhi on January 13, 1948. Not only in South Africa, Gandhi had done many more things in India. Let's remember Gandhi on his birthday. Thanks for watching our video. This is Group 2 signing off.